Hey you guys, it's Vijaya back at you with another video. You guys know how much I like to show you how simple it is to cook certain dishes, right? So especially with curries and things like that, I know some people click onto the video thinking, oh, this is going to be complicated, but then they leave thinking, wow, this is so simple. I didn't realize that this was so easy to make at home. And so today I'm going to show you one of my favorite lunch/dinners to make when I only have 10 minutes. This is going to be my 10-minute pasta puttanesca with only 6 ingredients. It is such a hearty, filling meal, and it is so tasty, you guys. I can't, like, my mouth waters when I just think about it. And I'm going to show you from start to finish how you prep the ingredients, how you toss everything in the pan, and literally your sauce is going to cook at the same time that your pasta cooks. They're going to be done at the same time. You toss them together and you have pasta magic. But before we get started, don't forget to hit me up on the gram. That's where I'll post my recipes every day. You can click through, watch the video, see the pictures, and you can get to know a little bit more about me too. And if you're looking for the full recipe, just click that info box down below and everything you need is there. Let's make tuna pasta puttanesca together. Okay, so I have a few of the ingredients that we're gonna prep before we get going at the stove. So I have some tomatoes, some Kalamata olives, as well as some garlic. Garlic and pasta go hand in hand, as well as some Italian cured tuna in olive oil. And I like using the brand Rio Mare. This is not a sponsored video, but I wish it was. I love this tuna so much. I have like stacks and stacks and stacks of it in the cupboard because it is so delicious in this pasta and because I make it so often. So let's start by mincing our garlic. All right, so the way I like to prep my garlic is just to give it a gentle tap. Oh, that wasn't so gentle, but like, you know what I mean. You wanna crush it a little bit, and then we're gonna give it a rough chop. And I don't mind if there are slightly chunkier bits of garlic, that's fine. We just want it to perfume the oil. And so if you're not fond of garlic, you can pick it out after like the bigger chunks. All right, and that's good. Next up are the olives. If you have little kids, this is where you get them involved. It's so fun, actually. I get a kick out of doing this, but you're just gonna press down with your thumb and lift the seed out and discard it. And it's the easiest way to do it. If you find that your olive is a bit firm, you can use the back of your knife to press down. I'll show you how to do that as well. And actually you can do a few bits of olive at the same time if you're using that technique. And again, you just pull this seed right out, because the worst thing that you could possibly do is feed your friends and family pasta with the seeds intact and then they chomp down. That is not a cute look, okay? So we're gonna continue doing that for the rest. So my olives are currently whole, obviously. I just wanna give them a rough chop. Not too fine, because I like piercing my fork into a big chunk of olive. I think it's just so good that way. So that's about good. We're gonna set that aside with our garlic. Next up are tomatoes, and you wanna get the best possible tomatoes that you can because we're using so few ingredients in this pasta. So I have some cocktail tomatoes here, which are nice and sweet, and we're just gonna chop them up roughly. Roughly, that's what I'm trying to say. That came out weird. So tomatoes are done. They're nice and juicy and ripe, which is gonna be perfect for this, and they're gonna create just the right amount of sauce to coat the pasta. So there we go. So I'm using 3 cans of this tuna. I'll leave the specifics in terms of the quantity in the recipe, and it comes with this little thing that you peel back. And this is what the tuna looks like on the inside. So you can see that it's packed in oil. You wanna drain as much of that oil as you possibly can because we're gonna be using olive oil in the recipe and you don't want it to get too greasy, right? So 3 cans like that, drained, and they'll be good to go. My ingredients are prepped. You guys saw that didn't take too long at all. And now we're gonna hit the stove. We're gonna put my pasta into the water. We're gonna start building the sauce and everything is gonna come together in under 10 minutes. Unbelievable. So my water has come to a rolling boil for the pasta, and I'm just gonna add enough salt so that it tastes like the sea. You want it to be nice and seasoned up. And today we're gonna be cooking with linguini, one of my favorite pastas, but of course you can use anything you like, spaghetti, fettuccine, even small short pastas. And we're gonna go in with about 1/2 pound, and we're gonna cook this until it's nice and al dente. And one of the things that I'll point out is when we're cooking this pasta, about 3/4 of the way through, just before it's done, we're gonna pull out a little bit of that starchy cooking liquid, the pasta water, and that's gonna help thicken the sauce when we put everything together. All right, so I have my pan, it's on medium heat. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of olive oil just to get things going, as well as my first two ingredients, my garlic, as well as my black olives. And we're just gonna put them in. As you can tell, the pan is not super duper hot, just because I want to sweat the garlic off. I don't want it to get much color, but I want the life in the olives to be released, if that makes any sense. When it hits the heat, they get sort of crackly and shiny and all their natural oils start to come out, and that's Flavor Town right there. So we're gonna saute this off for about, I would say 20 to 30 seconds until everything's sort of softened up and all the flavors are released. I think a little pinch of chili flake goes such a long way in this, so in that goes. It's just gonna add a touch of heat, not too much, and again, we wanna get that chili nice and toasty because that makes it really flavorful. Smells so good already. All right, so my olives are nice and crackly. You can really start to smell that garlic, but it hasn't colored. At this point, we're gonna add our tomatoes right on in. Look at those colors, oh my goodness. And what's gonna happen now is over the next 2 minutes or so, those tomatoes are really gonna cook down. And what's gonna help with that is just adding a touch of salt, not too much, because keep in mind, those olives are already very salty. And we're just gonna cook the tomatoes down until they're nice and soft and jammy in consistency. Look at how those tomatoes have transformed, literally a couple of minutes to get it to this state. And now we're gonna add our tuna in, okay? So our tuna is obviously cooked through, but we just wanna warm it through, so we're gonna heat it up for about 30 seconds. Oh yeah, bring it together. And I don't like to crush the tuna too much. I like it to be a little on the chunkier side so that, again, I can pierce my fork into it and get a big chunk. And look at how beautiful. You guys, literally our sauce is done. We're gonna drain our pasta and toss it all together. All right, so here's my bubbly, sizzly sauce. Here's my hot pasta going in. Here's a little bit of that starchy cooking liquid that's just gonna bring the entire thing together. And now we're gonna do a nice, beautiful toss. Ah, look at that. And for me, whenever I make a pasta, I just like to dress my pasta the way I would a salad. So you don't wanna go in with too much salad dressing. You just want it to gently coat each leaf, and that's exactly the methodology here with this pasta. I use the word methodology, you guys. That's when you know I'm getting serious, okay? And then last but not least, to garnish, we're gonna do some fresh chopped parsley. And that's how you call it a day when you're making a quick pasta that you want to be filling and hearty and comforting. I mean, look at that. All right, it's ready, you guys. And the best time to eat it is right away. That's when all the flavors are at their peak. The pasta is at the perfect texture. And just look at that. Oh, a little bit of tuna. I'm gonna grab a few olives here. Oh, so good, so good. Let's swirl a few strands of this linguini onto my fork, shall we? Oh my gosh, that looks and smells so good. Ready? Let's do this. I have a thing with like flipping over skillets these days. Firstly, pasta is perfectly al dente, and then you get all the flavors, that little bit of brightness and acidity from the tomatoes, the richness and fattiness of the tuna, and then the thing that puts this over the top is the saltiness of those olives. That trio, tuna, tomato, olive, is absolutely sensational. And this is why I have this pasta on a week-to-week basis. It's absolutely addictive. It's so, so good. And I know you guys are gonna love it too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give me a big ol' tuna thumbs up. You know how that makes me feel. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe for more videos. And as always, if you have a question, request, or comment, leave it in the comments box down below. Until my next video, I will see you all later. Bye.